Welcome back to another deep dive. Today we're looking at something I think we can all relate to, sadness. Specifically, how one person, Nora, navigated a day that was just consumed by it. Our source is this really interesting personal story shared on an English language learning platform.
Yeah, and what's fascinating is how this seemingly straightforward account of a sad day actually gives us, well, a lot to unpack. It touches on emotional processing, the power of connection, and some really practical self-care things. It's a chance to look at what acknowledging feelings really means instead of just pushing them away.
Okay, let's get into it then. Our mission for this deep dive really is to pull out more than just vocabulary. We want to understand how we can maybe approach our own emotions better, especially on those, quiet gray days. So Nora starts her story on a quiet morning. It's gray outside, no sun, no blue sky. She even mentions no birds. And she describes feeling tired, slow, not happy, not strong. She actually stays in bed a bit longer.
It raises a really important question. How often do we actually pause and notice those first physical signs, or even the environmental ones, like the gray sky she mentions? Nora's experience really highlights that feelings often just happen. We don't choose them, but we can learn to understand where they're coming from.
Yeah. So she gets up, looks in the mirror, doesn't smile, and even her voice, just saying good morning, Nora, to herself sounds low. She makes tea, but then, well, it doesn't taste good. She ends up just sitting on the sofa, no TV, no music, just looking at the wall, feeling empty. She says she doesn't want to do anything, no cleaning, no talking, not even going for a walk.
And that detail about the tea, the loss of enjoyment in something simple, that's really telling. It shows how sadness isn't just, a thought. It manifests physically, behaviorally, the withdrawal, the emptiness. It's a very tangible thing she's describing.
Then later that morning, Nora looks out the window. She sees people outside. They're laughing, talking. But she just feels alone in her room. And she notes, no one calls, no one knocks.
Right, that contrast. The world outside seems busy and connected, but her internal feeling is complete isolation. It really underscores that feeling of being disconnected, even when life is happening right outside.
So she picks up her phone, but finds she doesn't actually want to text anyone. Not really. Instead, she starts looking at old photos, pictures of her family, her friends back home. And then it hits her. She misses them a lot. She misses her mom's voice, her friends' jokes, even just the sounds of her home country. Her room feels clean, quiet, yes, but not warm, not like home. She ends up hugging a pillow, just sitting by the window. She doesn't cry, but says her heart feels heavy, lonely, a little lost. And then she whispers to herself, Nora, it's okay, you're just having a sad day. So that moment right there, that's really interesting, isn't it? She actually acknowledges the feeling out loud, or, well, to herself.
Yes, that whisper is, well, it's a huge moment of self-compassion. It's an act of validation. Instead of fighting it or judging herself for feeling that way, she accepts it. And often, that acknowledgement is the very first step towards feeling even slightly better. It's crucial.
So fast forward to the afternoon. Nora looks at her phone again. This time, there's a message. It's from her friend Anna, just saying, hi, Nora, how are you today? And Nora's first instinct is, well, she doesn't want to answer. But then she has this thought like, maybe it's okay to talk. Maybe it will help.
And isn't that pause so relatable? How often do we hesitate, we feel down, someone reaches out, and we still think, oh, I don't want to burden them, or what's the point?
Yeah.
Nora pushing past that initial resistance, that's really key here.
Yeah, she does it. She taps back just honestly. Hi, Anna. I don't feel so good today. I feel a little sad. Okay. Anna replies super quickly with just pure empathy. Oh, Nora, I'm here for you. Do you want to talk? Nora says yes. They get on a call. Anna asks, what's wrong? And Nora's answer is simple. I don't know. I just feel slow, tired, and lonely.
And look at Anna's response here. It's brilliant. She doesn't try to fix Nora. She doesn't give advice. She just listens. And then she says, I understand. I feel that way sometimes too. It's normal. They only talk for maybe 10, 15 minutes. Not about anything big, she says, just small things.
And the result? After the call, Nora feels lighter. She says, not perfect, not suddenly happy, but definitely better. She even smiles a little, tells Anna, thank you, Anna, that helps.
It just perfectly highlights the incredible impact of simple, non-judgmental listening, just being heard, being understood. Even for a short time, it can really shift that heavy feeling. It shows how vital that social connection is, especially when we're navigating difficult emotions. It breaks the isolation.
So after talking to Anna, Nora sits quietly for a bit. The room is still quiet, but she says it doesn't feel so cold anymore. And then she has another moment of self-talk. She tells herself, Nora, it's okay to feel sad. You are not lazy. You are not weak. You are human.
That's such a powerful reframing, isn't it? She's moving away from self-judgment, why am I like this, towards self-compassion. She's actively challenging that idea that feeling sad is some kind of weakness or laziness. It's just human.
Okay, so connecting this to action, what does she do next? She decides to do one small, kind thing for herself. First, a warm shower. She focuses on the feeling, the water, feeling soft, nice. Closes her eyes, breathes slowly. Then she puts on her favorite sweater, one that feels soft and safe. And she plays some soft music. Not to dance or sing, just to sit and listen. And she notes, that is enough.
You see how deliberate and sensory that is? The warm water, the soft fabric, the calming music. These aren't huge efforts. They're small, intentional acts of self-nurturing. They tap into comfort. They soothe the nervous system without demanding a lot of energy, which she probably doesn't have right then.
Right. Then she cooks herself a simple lunch, just rice and eggs, but she puts it on a nice plate. She even lights a small candle
Right.
and tells herself, you deserve this, Nora. She eats slowly, puts her phone away, just eats quietly. And she says for the first time that day, she feels a little bit calm.
Exactly. It's the cumulative effect, isn't it? Small things adding up, creating that little ritual, that moment of peace, acknowledging her own worth, even while feeling sad. It's not about forcing happiness. It's about inviting calm into the sadness.
Later in the evening, Nora gets out her notebook, sits by the window again. The sky's still gray, but she notices the clouds look soft now. She opens a fresh page and writes, today I feel sad, but I don't hide it. I talk to a friend. I take care of myself, and that is enough.
She looks at her own handwriting and thinks it feels honest. Kind, even.
Yeah, that journaling piece is so important for processing. It helps solidify the experience. Writing it down lets her sort of make sense of it, recognize her own actions, talking to Anna, the self-care, and affirm that what she did was enough. It wasn't about fixing everything, just managing the day with kindness. Then she closes the notebook, looks outside again. Streetlights are on now, people walking home. She puts her hand on her heart, manages another small smile, and whispers, tomorrow's a new day, and maybe tomorrow will feel better. Before sleeping, she whispers, good night, Nora, you did your best today. And her final thought in the story is, today was not a happy day, but that's okay. Sometimes we feel sad, sometimes we feel tired. That's normal, that's life.
And that acceptance right there, that's the core insight. It's not about eliminating sadness forever. It's about understanding. It's just part of being human. Like weather, it changes. That quiet hope for tomorrow combined with acknowledging she did her best today, that's real resilience.
So bringing this all together, what does Nora's deep dive into her sad day really tell us?
I think it's a powerful reminder that feelings, even the really tough ones, they aren't permanent. They shift, they pass. Exactly. And it really highlights how important it is to, well, first, acknowledge those feelings, don't fight them. Then reach out. Connection matters so much. And finally, those small, deliberate acts of self-compassion, they add up. There isn't, a magic fix. It's about human understanding, human care for others and for ourselves.
Yeah. This story really drives home that it's okay to feel sad. It doesn't mean you're lazy or weak. It just means you're human. And sometimes simple things like talking to a friend, taking that warm shower, like Nora said, sometimes that really is enough.
So maybe the question to leave you, the listener, with is this. The next time you find yourself in one of those quiet, gray moments, what's one small, kind, intentional thing you could do for yourself? Or maybe who could you reach out to, even if it's just for a quick 10-minute chat, knowing how much difference it might actually make?